At last, the release date for the new update has been announced, and this time it's not just another rumor. Dead Rails is getting ready for one of its biggest changes ever this very weekend. The countdown has already begun, and what's coming could change the game forever. Leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. After several months, the date for the new Dead Rails update has finally been confirmed. We've been waiting a month for this, guys, and during that time, the game's player count has been steadily dropping. Let's hope this update is massive, because if not, the game might unfortunately be reaching its end. I really hope that's not the case. Wraith, one of the main helpers and testers for the game, announced that the big update will arrive this Friday or Saturday, and for those in the United States, it will most likely be on Friday. If today is Wednesday and you're watching this, that means there are less than 2 days left before we can enjoy the new content. I know many of you have heard similar news before and are probably thinking, here we go again, we've heard this before. And trust me, I understand, but this time feels different. Wraith is connected to Rico's team and is a helper who actively responds to and solves community questions. At this point, I highly doubt he would lie. Of course, unexpected things can still happen, like bugs, server crashes, or any kind of setback. But if everything goes according to plan, this weekend will have one of the biggest updates the game has ever seen. Even in the official Rails Discord, there are already messages reinforcing this confirmation, and I've also seen in the YouTuber server that certain things and details have been added. So I'll say it again, if nothing strange happens, in less than 2 days, the update will be here. And while we wait, I want to share with you some ideas circulating in the community and others of my own that, if implemented, could transform Dead Rails into an even more epic experience. Among these proposals is one worked on by Gizzard and Elysium, Coastal Shore. Part 4, Grand Seabreeze Resort, an elegant European seaside complex that was once the perfect place for the elite. Majestic halls once filled with nobles are now overrun by zombies, with crumbling walls, haunted casinos, and secret vaults full of treasure. You'd start on the beach and patio, where aristocratic zombies in vintage swimsuits, butlers, and hidden attackers lurk among broken fountains and picnic tables. Inside, a grand entrance with twin staircases, a shattered chandelier, and unsettling portraits awaits, but you'll quickly be blocked by club thugs. In the kitchen, zombie chefs armed with rusty knives are ready to attack, and in the luxury spa, attendants assault you with scalding steam. On the first floor is the dining room, half buried in sand, and a cursed music-filled ballroom where you'll face a mini-boss, Baroness Viondra, armed with the Royal Saber, a weapon that emits blinding flashes and summons noble zombies to fight alongside her. If you defeat her, you can obtain her weapon, her ring, and possibly gain access to an underground vault full of treasure, but riddled with traps like pendulums, poison darts, and pressure plates. Another standout proposal is the prison train, a massive dark grey train with barred windows, chained doors, and turrets on the roof. It would be a high-risk, high-reward target, costing about 290 bonds to raid. You could capture NPCs such as werewolves or outlaws, and if you transport their bodies to a safe location, you'd receive double the payment. This would add new strategies for raids and force players to decide if the risk is worth it. Another concept proposed by Rick is the cemetery, with hundreds of skeletons emerging from their graves. Each enemy you defeat brings you closer to summoning the Grave Guardian, a gigantic skeletal boss with a huge scythe and 40,000 HP. This boss can attack from a distance and summon more enemies while you fight. Upon defeating it, you'd obtain its scythe, which not only deals heavy damage, but also turns defeated enemies into allied skeletons that fight for you, creating your own army and completely changing combat strategy. Now, for a proposal by Akumaru, a Dead Rails news YouTuber. Imagine traveling through the desert on your train and suddenly seeing a massive crater on the horizon, like something out of a sci-fi movie. It's not something that happens often, only a 3% chance in matches. But when it does, it's like winning the lottery. This place, known as the Meteorite impact site, is off the tracks, so you'll have to detour and risk time to reach it. At its center lies a split meteorite emitting an eerie green glow, surrounded by meteorite fragments you can collect to gain permanent class upgrades. Yes, permanent, even if you log off. You could get between 3 and 6 fragments per visit, but the area isn't unguarded. It's protected by the fearsome burrower zombies, creatures that stay hidden underground until you least expect it. If you linger too long or crouch to collect a fragment, the ground starts trembling, dust rises, and suddenly they burst out with claws ready to strike. They're stronger than regular zombies, deal 20% more damage, and always attack by surprise. If you manage to defeat them, you might obtain the Burrower Claw, a rare item that increases your melee weapon damage by 10%. It's not just about collecting, it's about surviving the encounter. And finally, a castle redesign, featuring 2 new rooms. The Armory, where you can find armor, helmets, and shoulder pads, and the Weapon Room, containing all available weapons, including a vampiric dagger that doubles your damage. To complete the challenge, you'd have to face one of 3 bosses: the Easter Bunny with 6,000 HP, the Yeti with the same amount, or the 3-headed Goliath with 7,000 horsepower. Defeating them would unlock a hidden basement with jade ingots, weapons, keys, bonds, gold, and trapped horses you could free. These are just some ideas that could revolutionize the game and make it more intense and varied. Hopefully, the developers take note and bring them to life. In the meantime, let's cross our fingers that the update arrives this weekend as everything suggests, because it looks like the best of Dead Rails is just about to begin.